Hello. Hi, everyone. Who is everyone? Whoever is there. Maybe I have just one view. That's fine. Um, so, continuing with these little habits and this commitment to do as little as I can to develop this skill. That's the main reason always why I come back here. Um, Today I had an interview with, I mean, this is the third interview for the same role. I met with who potentially could be my peers, and it went pretty well. Most than anything, I'm like proud of myself for not for expressing a little bit better the ideas that came to mind and overcoming the situation with my accent. So I think I did a good performance. Again, beyond the role, beyond the meeting, beyond the interview, beyond that, we kind of like I felt very comfortable with them. Beyond all of that, I am proud of being able to articulate with pauses, with kind of like pulls and push, pull and push, pull and push. But I was able to articulate all of my ideas. They ask very smart questions, and I think I was able to respond also in a smart way. So yeah, those are the news. I'm kind of like happy with that because that's kind of like my Achilles heel, I think it's called in English. Talón de Achilles. It's like my weak point overall. The way that I express myself and my accent. And it's funny because I don't know if this is related with anything, but I obviously kind of like really enjoy everything that is astrology and planets and synastry and things like that. And I am an Aquarius sun, so February is my birthday. So I feel that there's a lot of, and again, like this is obviously a generalization, you name it, but I do think that is kind of like related with the sign, the archetype, because my mind thinks 3 times faster than what I can actually express. So I try to just vomit all the ideas, and then I get tangled, and I have to do those push and pulls because I'm like pushing, and then I'm like, but no, I'm like three arguments above. Like I need to like pull and like explain, and then this is, and then there's that, and then let me go back, and all of that just to express one idea. And I think, as I said, like that's kind of like related with my archetype, like that kind of like hardcore thinker that has um, all of these thoughts, all of these philosophies and values that is very excited about and just wants to kind of like, like the archetype itself is, I think it's kind of like, I'm not sure if it's an archer, but it has uh, some kind of basel, and he's kind of like pouring something down, and I think that's kind of like the current of thoughts that is pouring everything down, and then it becomes kind of a challenge to regulate yourself and like be poised and be able to articulate precisely and concisely what are you what is your train of thought, and how would you do things, and what's your vision, and what do you bring to the team. So anyways, the good news is that I felt very comfortable. So so that was good because I was able to be myself. Um, and talking about regulation and regulating yourself, I was also thinking. So my son has had lately some kind of I would say for the last 4 or 5 days, these very expressive moments. And I don't know how all other moms feel about this, but I feel that I have to constantly be regulating him, and thus I can't not be regulated, because if I'm not regulated, then it's like a full scandal in the house, and we're trying to avoid that, obviously. So it's a little bit exhausting, really. But beyond everything, I think I feel happy today. Um, as I said, it's kind of like a weakness, this idea of like not being able to say things and communicate, and that this went well. That was a good thing, and that I was able to regulate myself too, because I was very nervous before going to the meeting, um, obviously, right? But I always kind of, it's funny because if I have a lot of time to prep for a meeting, or somewhere where they're gonna be assessing me or evaluating me, if the more time I have, the more nervous I get. It's like, just tell me, one day before, and then I kind of like crack the code and I'll make it happen. If I have like too much time, I tend to overthink. Of course, Aquarius, like, who doesn't overthink, anyways? But yeah, so I was nervous and I was able to regulate myself, and I think self-regulation has been the underlying theme since I became a mother. Um, I have my moments, and especially with my husband, we had moments where we kind of like explode. But I think both of us have become pretty good at, when there are those moments that escalate, we're become pretty good to like just withdraw. Either he withdraws or I withdraw, or we withdraw at the same time, because like one of us withdrawing means that the other one has no, there's no more feedback, so it's just like it just kind of like dies out, the like the escalation moment. So yeah, so basically what I'm trying to say here is that one of the things that motherhood brought to me is the awareness of regulation, first of all, because I never had it. Because probably what happened before, and then the reason why I never had it, is because whenever there was a need to regulate, I would completely withdraw, right? Like, I'm dating someone, there's a moment, bye bye, I'll see you later. And I never gave enough, like enough of a thread, of a thread, like in a thread, to actually go through the challenge of regulation. So it would be always like, I'm not liking how this goes, so goodbye. And kind of like cutting out before experiencing that. And with motherhood and eventually a marriage, that's something that you can't do. You can't just withdraw and say like, okay, toddler, you just cry, I'll see you later, I don't like this, so bye bye. You gotta be there, you gotta be present. And mostly, and this doesn't happen all the time, of course, but mostly you need to keep your temper in order for this little guy or little girl to just let it go, and like, kind of like touch you and understand that this is safe, and be herself or himself. So that's one of the wonders that I have been experiencing over the last 4 years, and that I think I'm becoming better at it. I don't have it fully under control, but I'm becoming better. And that showed up today in the meeting. So, anyways, little habits. I'm continuing to do these little habits, and we'll see where we go. One little step at a time. Au revoir. Bye bye.